I would dabble in some extra work. I did a YouTube video series. Oh God, it was so terrible though. I played a vampire named Marcus. I was like all brooding and shit. It was an experience. I guess shout out to Alex Fernandez and his series on YouTube called Dawn. And shout out to some of the actresses on there, some really cool people. But it was rough. It was far, and it wasn't paid, and I felt like I was the only one really trying to put much acting in.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you looking to ever get into mainstream films, or are you looking to stay in the porn industry?
I would love to. I would love to actually get into mainstream films. So right now, what I'm focusing on is working on my clip store with my girlfriend, Mistress E. She's on Twitter. You can find her on Eve's Fallen Angel. That's her @ And we've been actually putting together porn for couples and the kinky minded. So I've been going back to my roots a lot with more of the sex positive and emotive and artistic stuff, and she's helped me touch back into that. And we're just kind of creating more like make love, not porn kind of stuff right now. And in the meantime, I'm also finishing off my memoir, which chronicles a lot of my trip across the country from New York to California and back again. I do have some big, major potential plans coming up after all that is wrapped up, which would put me in a very different role in the industry that I've had. But spoilers. So
definitely. Are you going to be doing any appearances or any public events while you're on your trip from California or New York to California?
Well, no, I already had that trip.
Oh, okay. I wondered
that.
because last time when I remember I talked to you in New York at one point, and then you're now in the Midwest, right?
Yeah, now I'm in Tennessee.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, I've done all over the country, but I haven't been all over the world. Maybe that'll be a follow-up memoir. But now I've already been from New York to California. I went by car, like $20 in my pocket in any given state. Kept on chugging along. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but I did it. Just like kind of jet setted away along the way, getting work, modeling, shooting porn, and kind of crash landing in California. And then all the misadventures therein. I mean, a lot of it's going to ultimately serve as an expose, although it doesn't serve as that kind of a narrative. It's just the fact that it is my first-hand narrative.
Wow.
I'm actually interested to see the kind of reception to that kind of a perspective on the whole thing.
I am too, because that's very impressive how you did that with when you were traveling like that to find work, because that takes a lot of drive and ambition to even go that far.
I just kind of figured if any regular jack-off, with two functional arms and a functional brain can achieve some kind of success, like, why can't I? I have this whole idea, this mantra, be your own hero, because a lot of times we'll look up to other people who've achieved things and we'll hero worship them, we'll celebritize them, idolize them. But they had to get started somewhere too. Sure, some of them might have inherited whatever, but a lot of them had to get started from the ground up. So a lot of what I do so others can see that they can too. Because why can't they? Be your own hero. So I just took to the road. Just figured I will. I have two functional arms, functional brain, like any other fucking jackoff. I will keep on keeping on. And I went with my travel mate, a friend of mine at that time, and her and I both had it in our heads we wanted to end up in California. So we started at her dad's to basically buy and sell a bunch of stuff for the road, and then ended up making it across country because I had a couple bookings, and just continued following whatever trail would take us. Then California, where we intended. But that was its own trip, just being there.
Wow.
But yeah.
I gotta say,
It's been
man,
a crazy life.
That's kind of mind blowing right there. Like I did not expect this when I was lined up this interview, and this is wow. You know, man, like that goes to show everyone out there, never give up on your dreams, because that's some inspirational shit right there, man.
Well, I mean, the story ain't over yet. Let's see what happens in part 2.
Man, you know, we're gonna be. I'm hoping the show can ride with you along the whole way and document that, because this is something I'm definitely interested in doing a lot more with, aside from tonight even, because this, like, I'm blown away by this, man.
I appreciate that.
Right now.
I mean, that's really kind of you. I mean, I try to stay humble. Like, I've had a really wild life, but ultimately it's been really more or less a quest for my own home. Home is where the heart is, so for too much of it I was going where the money was. Don't go where the money is. That's one lesson I've learned. Don't move because there's money. Let money be an incentive, but don't let that be the reason you're moving. Don't let that be the reason you're running around chasing something. Chase the heart. If that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense, man. Like, to be real with you, I'm gonna be real. I don't really show a lot of my real shit on this show, but I'm gonna be real. That's some shit I needed to hear, man. So thank you for that.
Well, no problem, man. I'm also, like, terrifically high right now, so I might be getting a little, like, philosophical.
You know, that's the best kind of interviews, though. That's why I always try to have everyone smoking on these interviews, because that's when people get real right there.
Oh, yeah, dude. I don't go to an interview without either getting high or happy or having gotten high. It's like, it's my channel kind of a thing. I always consider it like the great equalizer, too. If you go to some place and you have weed, you find one person, any person who might smoke weed. So, like, you want to smoke weed? They could be totally disconnected from anything in your reality, but you connect them with that, and all of a sudden, you're both on that same level. They're not going to feel above you. They're not going to feel below you, vice versa. You're just two new buddies smoking weed, getting high, and connecting on that level. The great fucking equalizer. And I had a late start. With weed. Like, I'm a fucking pothead, don't get me wrong, but I didn't start smoking weed till like 24. I'm 30 now. But I gave in to the whole, like, drugs are bad stigma, and, like, weed is drugs, so weed is bad. But shit, man, I was getting migraines, and I had to do something. I mean, it could have came to the point that if somebody said if I fucking stabbed myself in this particular part of my fucking wrist, my migraines would go away, well, fucking show me the knife, motherfucker, because I'm going to start stabbing.
Fuck, man. There's a lot of people out there that deal with that, too, that unfortunately aren't even in states where they could legally have weed. They're risking going to jail to not be in pain. So, damn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, like, but I was lucky, though. I was really fucking lucky. Like, I had my brother who smoked weed. I had another close friend I was always chilling with. He smoked weed. They were big potheads. And right out the gate, I was already getting the best fucking weed in New York. Like, this newbie, rookie, don't know shit about weed, stoner, getting the best shit. Not getting ditch weed, not getting that Mexican brick, not even getting mids. I was getting, like, fucking clean as fuck Blue Dream, Sour Diesel, fucking White Widow, LA Confidential, right out the fucking gate. Like,
fuck
damn.
yeah. And a lot of people nowadays consider weed like there's certain signs of using for aphrodisiacs. Do you ever use that in your porn work?
Okay, so for me, it could be touch and go, totally. Because like sometimes weed can definitely get me a little more like socially recluse or like have a little more social anxiety. So I don't fuck with weed before I'm shooting. Maybe I'll have like a hit from like a bowl just to even out an edge in the morning. But I will not get high before I work, before I do a scene. I'm like, for the most part, in anything you see me in online, I'm stone cold sober.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm very strict about this too, actually. So, like, maybe after I've already shot a couple of scenes, if it's like a whole day kind of thing, then I'll, like, smoke a little bit if, like, whoever else I'm working with smokes too. But I'm not going to start off my day smoking weed.
I hear that, man. That takes a lot of willpower right there. There's a lot of people who don't have that willpower that it takes like that. That's respectful.
Well, I mean,
you master your craft that way.
Well, I mean, up until this past week, I've had like huge caffeine dependency, but I wouldn't even have caffeine before a scene. It's like I want to like make sure that everything's working as it needs to work, and that it's me. And I don't want to have any variables at all. Professionalism is so fucking important to me.
Oh, definitely, man. Who's your favorite porn star that you've worked with so far?
Oof. Aside from Mr. C.
Yeah.
Let's see. Favorite porn star that I've worked with so far. I don't know. I don't know if that's really a question I even ought to answer. I've worked with a lot of amazing women.
Okay, well, who is one that you wish that you haven't worked with yet that you hope to work with?
Haven't worked with yet, but would hope to work with. I want to say Elena Koshka.
Okay.
She's awesome. I lived with her for a couple weeks over in LA. And she's just a really wonderful person inside and out, and it blows my mind. She's really inspirational. She does a lot of like major charity work, a lot of different foundations, and she's this like 6 foot tall, like dirty blonde Russian bombshell of a girl, and just she was really sweet to me when I was first in LA, and I'll never forget that. I always really wanted to have an opportunity to work with her, just to see how that chemistry would be.
See, and that's why I've been trying to push on Seductive Sundays for a while myself, is the fact that seduction isn't just about physical appearance, isn't just about the physical part. A lot of it's about that mental connection you make with someone.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, that's really important for, like, when you get on set, you basically, you'll be booked with somebody who's very unpleasant on the eyes. And, well, you basically have to convince yourself this is the most beautiful woman you've ever seen for that scene to fucking look good. And that's entirely mental. That's entirely mental.
Man, you do that completely sober. That's some real fucking. That takes a lot of fucking mind power right there.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of